Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we got this second sneak peek today for the presumed Inhumans August update. And of course, after the king precedes the queen. So we got the tier 3 sneak peek as well as a new uniform for Black Bolt a couple of days ago. Now we have what looks to be a brand new sneak peek for someone else in the Inhumans catalog. So let's take a look at what's popping off. CM Fragment checks up with us saying, whenever Black Bolt, the king of Inhumans, must leave his throne, there is only one other royal who he trusts with the safety of his kind, of his people. Her commanding presence makes others tremble, but her kindness enforces her right to the title of queen. That's right, Medusa is getting a new look and possibly more. The protector of the throne. And now I know a lot of you guys are going to make Aang, Avatar, Airbender jokes here because of the downwards arrow. I will show you the comic that is referencing. I don't think it has a lot of meaning moving forward, but this is what it says here on the official Netmarble forums. I almost said Moburum, but there's a little bit more. If you scroll down, there's some weird text here. It seems she has discovered new strength in order to keep all Inhumans safe. So this hints at some sort of upgrade that she's getting. Could be a uniform, could be more. More would be either a tier 3 or an awakening skill. See if you can find any clues. So we're going to see a clue in the sneak peek. Please look forward to the reveal of who will be the protagonist of this next spy mission. So that's mega confusing. Who will be the protagonist? If it's not Black Bolt, if it's not Blackagar Boltagon, and it's not Medusa, who could it be? The king and the queen. Who's the protagonist? Lockjaw? Maximus? I don't know. Like, you know, if you talk about Inhumans, the protagonist you'd assume is going to either be Black Bolt or Medusa. They are the leaders and they're the most well-known and they're the strongest of the Inhumans. So it's a bit bizarre. It's a bit strange. It's a bit... And then it's a spy mission, which also confuses me. So I'll give you guys a few ideas on what I think it could be, but we don't really have a solid lead yet for what this means specifically. Maybe there's some lost in translation things between Korean and English. If any of you guys can check out the Naver forums and let me know what it says there by converting it to, by reading it Korean, then let me know what it says in English. If you're Korean or you know Korean, then yeah, that might help us flesh that out a little bit more. But over on Twitter, just before we actually check out the sneak peek, two things here. This fearless queen leads the Inhuman awakening in a time of crisis. She'll bring one bad hair day her enemies will never forget. So it's obviously another nod to Medusa here, but we have the Inhuman awakening. Very good choice of words here. So the Inhumans are awakening in the sense that they are sort of coming back. They've been weak in the game for so long, but now they're going to get their due. So presumably most, if not all of the Inhumans are going to be getting reworked. So hopefully, you know what? Maybe the protagonist is Kamala Khan. Maybe they want to tie in. I just thought of this now. Maybe they want to tie in Kamala Khan to the Marvel Avengers movie. Sorry, not movie, game, the Square Enix, Squaresoft, whatever it's called, that game that's coming out for PS4 and PC soon, because Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is in that. She's not the main character, but she's one of the protagonists. She gets hit by Terrigen gas and becomes Inhuman during the storyline. So maybe they'll pick Kamala Khan. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anywho, the Inhuman awakening, they're sort of coming back. So we need reworks, like I said, Black Bolt, Medusa, Karnak, Gorgon, and Kamala Khan. Those 5 desperately need a rework. Lash needs a rework. Daisy needs a rework. They all need a rework, frankly, but at least those 5 or those 7. So let's check out now, without further ado, let's check out the sneak peek itself. Okay, and that's the whole thing. The music's a little weird. The music's a little ominous. So we have there in the background, if you can see, that is the old New Adelan background for the Inhumans missions. And if you go back to the 2017 sneak peeks for the Inhumans, they use that background. So they're sort of recycling that background, but there's a new foreground, which is sort of a cave or cavern looking throne room type thing with some pillars and a chair here. This is a chair that is being sat on, so we're looking at the chair from behind. That's not Aang, guys, for the last time. And then we see these crystals again. Now, again, we've got people in the forums and people on Discord. There's going to be some new Inhumans material. I really hope not. I can't say, of course, for sure that there isn't going to be, but I really hope that Netmarble Monster is not that greedy. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I hope they don't do that. Anywho, but over here you can see that they've color changed, they've color overlaid one of the crystals. All the other crystals are blue, and then one of them is red. Where do we have red crystals in the game, guys? Oh, look, it's Medusa. Where do we have red crystals in the game? Right, we have red crystals in the game for Awakening, right there. And if you look at the Mandalay gem fragment, it looks like the crystals in the sneak peeks. So it's pretty clear to me that this is a clue for an Awakening, i.e. an Awakening skill with Awakening potential. So it'll be very interesting. It's almost guaranteed, like 100% that Medusa is going to be getting an Awakening skill. It'll be very interesting to see for Medusa, not only how strong her Awakening skill is, but who are the 3 required characters. Because I was actually talking about it on the live stream on Twitch recently. Most of the Awakened characters in the game are paywall in one way or another. Either the character itself is paywall, or the character itself is free to play, but one of the characters that you need is paywall. Like, for example, Amadeus Cho. So in Amadeus Cho, since he's free to play and you can unlock him for free, and whatever, rank him up for free, I think Hulk is one of the other Awakening characters that you need for Amadeus Cho, so he's also free. Wave is another one who, she's not free, but sort of free because you just need to buy, you just need to use crystals to buy her heroic quest, and you can grind those for free. But then the last one is Luna Snow. Now you could argue that Luna Snow is free from dimension missions, but you know what I'm saying, right? And then if you look at other characters and other Awakening skills, they require other characters that are paywalled or crystal walled. For example, the Warriors of the Sky, if you weren't here at the beginning of the year, and if you didn't get a free 1-star version of Sunbird, and you wanted to awaken any of the Warriors of the Sky now, you would have to throw down money to get Sunbird, because you need Sunbird, War Tiger, and Shadow Shell for Blue Dragon, and you need Sunbird, Blue Dragon, and Shadow Shell for War Tiger, and so on and so forth. So it turns out that almost all, not all, but almost all of the current Awakening characters are paywall or crystal wall in some form or another. So hopefully Medusa will not require any paywall characters, but it's possible that they will introduce Triton, and he will be paywall, and then that will be one of the Awakened character requirements. So I just want to put that out there. I just want to also put that out there since it makes sense now during the video. If you want to prepare your Medusa, just unlock her potential. You don't need to get her up to level 70, but if you don't have a tier 2 Medusa yet, get your Medusa to tier 2, and then play with her in World Boss, put her on the team, just run her through a bunch of World Boss fights to unlock her potential. You don't need to get her up to level 70, you just need to unlock her potential. And then if we see during the APK or whatever that her Awakening skill is really good and you really want it, then you can take her up to 70. You'll only need to take her up to 70 to get her Awakened ability. You don't need to max out her gears to 25. You don't need to go that far. I did for some reason back in the day. I got 2 of her gears up to 22, but you don't need to do that for Awakening. You just need to get them to level 70. As you can see here for Cho, actually I did upgrade some of his gears. Maybe for Red Guardian I didn't. Okay, yeah, Red Guardian's gears are all at 20, but because I have him at level 70, I can now awaken his potential if I want to. So yeah, that's a little tip for you guys for Medusa. Medusa can only be gotten from bioselectors, so you should save your bioselectors from Shadowland or start using your your Shadowland bioselectors to select Medusa to start saving up and sort of stacking up her biometrics. So we do have confirmation here that she's going to be awakened. She's going to be the awakened character for the update. There may be another awakened character or whatever, but sure. And then we want to know, the last thing we want to know here is what she looks like, because we can only see, of course, from this sneak peek, we can only see her hair. But the sneak peek team has left some clues here. There are some black lines. It looks like an M there, but there are some black lines in her hair. And if you look at the 2 current versions of Medusa, it's just a full head of hair on her with no lines in it. So we are presumably looking for a Medusa that has lines in her hair. Now, thankfully, this doesn't look like we're getting the Marvel X for the Marvel X version, the Marvel Earth X version of Medusa, because that one from Alex Ross is terrifying. I'm going to try to pull up the image now. I don't think I can find it fast enough, but she basically looks, it's the one I showed you guys in the previous video. She basically looks like a lion or some sort of, like, the hair is growing into her face and stuff. It's pretty terrifying. So thankfully that doesn't look to be like the one we were getting. But if we take a look at some different versions of Medusa here, I'm just going to quickly show you guys. This is a variant. I believe this is a variant cover, Inhumans Prime, and it's got all the Inhumans in the background there. Triton, you've got Inferno. I don't know who that is, but anywho, you've got a bunch of Inhumans there. Karnak. That's the throne that Medusa is sitting on there. So it looks pretty cool. But Medusa has a lot of different looks in the comics, a lot. And so the one that matches most, she's got like a lot of looks. So we could get technically anything. But the one that I think matches, oh, not that one. The one that I think matches the most based on what we can see in the sneak peek, this is the one we have in the game right now. We have this sort of a variation of this without the mask in her default costume. It's sort of the same. It's not exactly the same, but it's sort of the same there. And then this one is, of course, the Monsters Unleashed MFF variant. But the one that I'm referring to is actually this one here. And this is from Avengers, or sorry, not Avengers. Inhumans, not Avengers versus X-Men. Inhumans versus X-Men. And the Inhumans versus X-Men storyline is pretty savage. If you haven't seen what Black Bolt does to Cyclops, you should check that out. It's pretty dope. No other spoilers, but yeah, you can see that she has black sort of spikes coming out of her hair, and she uses them to great effect. It's really, I hope that she gets a skill like this. Really, really cool animation if her hair was like popping up and down out of the ground and sort of stabbing up into the sky. So that's probably, this is hopefully probably the look we're going to be getting. I would like to see this look because it's super badass. She's got a crown and everything. But like I said, there's so many looks for Medusa that she could really have anything. Now, the nice thing specifically about this Inhumans versus X-Men is that it also ties into the Inhumans versus X-Men Terrigen War, what is it called? Faction battle that we had. And so down here on Twitter, I want to shout out to RockD85. They mention, nice, you know, this would be perfect time to update the Inhumans versus X-Men Terrigen War content, the faction battle that you guys introduced 4 years ago and have continued to just copy and paste even in when it doesn't make any sense. What do you think, Cynicalex? I think it's an awesome idea. So it's interesting. They talk about an Inhuman Awakening, and they also talk about the protagonist and the spy mission. So maybe this will be like a part 1 update with the Inhumans, and then the next update will be the X-Men. And it'll be like an Inhumans versus X-Men update sort of back and forth, or maybe they will mix updates together because they're doing a lot of weird things now. You know, they had the uniforms for Enchantress and Cable a week ago, and now we're getting an update next week, so it's way off schedule. We got the tier 3 sneak peek first. That's way off schedule. That's completely out of the norm. So maybe they're going to sprinkle in, maybe next week we're going to get an X-Men update, or I mean the week after that, right? And then the week after that we get the part 2 of the Inhumans update with upgrades for Karnak and Gorgon, whatever. And then a week after that we get more X-Men. I don't know, but that would be really cool. And then there's like a month-long event where you have to play as Inhumans or X-Men, or you have to use both of them, and you have to play through different content using those teams to try to defeat the other side, right? You play as the X-Men fighting Inhumans, or you play as Inhumans fighting X-Men. That would be a really cool month-long thematic content to tie into the update and, you know, encourage you and reward you for building up these Inhumans and X-Men's characters. But yeah, it could just be anything. I'm just musing here. It really could be anything. But I would love to hear down below in the comments what you guys think of not only what's coming, but also what you think of Medusa's uniform and presumably uniform and awakening skill. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. I don't know what to expect from her abilities. I do think that Netmarble has gotten kind of lazy with skill upgrades. Every character, it seems nowadays, that comes out is getting, you know, damage accumulation, all defense down, and some sort of all attack, all speed, crit rate buff. So I would love to see some new effects. I would love to see some new creativity from them, but we'll have to wait and see for the other sneak peeks, the live stream, and then the APK. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.